Welcome to my video on the retail aspect of commercial real estate. Is right now like the biggest gold mine in real estate. Also, well, flex spaces and industrial is going pretty good, apartments as well, but the biggest opportunity for the most exponential growth is the retail aspect, be it the power malls, a corner mall, a strip mall, convenience, regular outlets, regional, super regional malls, or big box or single box retail or small retail sectors. All these have great opportunity to make tons of money because after COVID, well, everybody's working at home, so the malls are the place everybody goes by every day for convenience for the neighborhood and everything, the community town center. So because this is so hot, it makes the malls do extremely well. But the thing is with the malls, all the malls across America, as you've noticed, all look the exact same way. And they all have the same problems, which is a opportunity for you. Because if you've noticed all the malls, which you should be noticing commercial real estate because you probably could live in an apartment or you go by tons of malls every day and you don't notice many things about it. And you're looking at exponential gold mine, the matrix. But if you want to be on the inside looking out through the matrix and seeing all the money going to your bank account and getting rich, you have to look at what others don't see and know what others don't know. And that's where I come in. And when I teach you these things, I get you in from apartments to retail malls to the development aspect and the renovation part of it in the mall and in apartments, where you can learn and know the cost, the timelines, the scheduling, and how to maneuver these projects at a cost-effective, fast pace, close deals, get cash out, and have one-on-one training. And I can get you from being your training wheels and getting you on the bicycle to like your super sport MotoGP level speed race from a cycle point of view, all through commercial real estate. But you have to look at the big picture and see through the matrix. What I'm talking about now is that all retail is like right now the best way to make the most money. You can make a lot of money in commercial real estate, and I teach you all the aspects, but I teach you what's most important to make the money fastest, easiest, and build on that. And when you start making money and you have certain projects and you go in order, I can get you into the next level. So the malls, as you want to notice, they're easily able to be changed and equipped where they can make a lot more money. If you look at them, almost all the malls, a lot of the malls all have the same mistake. They all look the same, and the big mistakes are that most of them are around 70%, 80% occupancy, and they have all these empty retail locations, storefronts with nothing in them, and or the anchor tenant moves out and it collapses the whole mall, and it's set for a long course, a slow death, and or it's just barely making it, which gives you tons of opportunity to get in and buy, because a lot of these mall owners, like apartments and other commercial real estate, are all suffering right now because adjustable rates have gone up, and they bought all these properties with cash out of pocket, and the rates go up and the tenants are moving out. A lot of tenants are moving out, at least 30% to 40% depending on the mall, which puts them in a financial bind. And I get people trained where you get cash up front and you're buying at the right price and you're closing in a week, where everybody else does 90 to 120 days, and they use JV, syndicates, or other investment tools that are contingent upon investors and other people. Well, I get you all in this, and at the entrepreneurial, industrial, well, the level of the power player, where you're getting all this stuff and you're making all the money and all the cash out, where other people aren't. So when you buy these and you close in a week, you're able to make all the money and be in control of this and not be a victim to the economy or any outside circumstances where other people aren't, because they're buying at the wrong price and they got no cash out, no cash flow, and they didn't pull cash out, so they have no idea how to handle any setback. So when they have a setback, they have a giant Ponzi scheme because all the investors have to make money. So they have to buy more, buy more, buy more. And every time they get a loan, instead of going on the new project or the new purchase, a lot of that money goes to paying the past investors. And that's why they look like they're doing well when they're not. So I get you past all of that stuff and into making the money. And this is why it can grow exponentially on top of targeting and focusing on what really makes money. And I train you to get into the right sequence, and I teach you step by step. So when you look at these malls, I'm not only going to tell you, I'm going to tell you to see what the problems are and where the lies are and the real poker. And I would say, if you want to say for demonstration purposes, also Uno, because it is about tenant combinations, tenant mixes, and not just anchor tenants and stuff. Some people say, investors say, oh, we invest in our company because we have grocery tenants and we have anchor tenants that are Walmarts and things like that. But in reality is that's like first kindergarten level really stupidity, because it doesn't really mean they have any understanding of why retail works and why retail doesn't work. You can still have a Walmart in a shopping center or they say retail malls beside a Walmart. It's really stupid. That doesn't mean anything. Or a retail mall with a grocery tenant. Who cares? You know, Whole Foods and several other groceries, Bed Bath & Beyond, all these, Best Buy, and all these other big anchor tenants, Fortune 500s. A lot of them are cash flow negative and pulled out a lot of stores and dumped tons of retail marketing. And Kroger, they just sold a buying out Albertson. They're just getting rid of like 3 to, I don't know, it depends on you look at the numbers, however they want to do it. They get rid of 300 to 500 locations. They're dumping them. And the strip malls, that these people in the retail malls that have any clue about what retail really is, the understanding of how you set up a retail mall. The purpose I'm training you is that when I get you in apartments and do all these things, I'm teaching you how to renovate things. And when I say play poker, other people copy it off the term game and poker and all this stuff. But when I'm saying, you could say the name of it and everything, but when I'm talking about it, I'm talking about true understanding. And I'm only giving you the key words and things, but when I give you training, I'm going to explain why everything fits together, because you want to have like a full flush or a straight or all these things. Everything with the mall and commercial real estate has to do with exact, planned, strategic, surgical phases and direction on how you're setting up the mall. You can't just get your mall and say, oh, for lease, and be like a normal guy that just says, hey, I want a girlfriend and date every fat girl or ugly girl because you want to have a girlfriend. No, I'm saying strategically planned phased directions with integration of what is to come next and how it plays out, because every lease on an average retail mall is like 10 to 50 years. But if you know this information and you have the key understanding, that mall can be an autopilot and exponential growth and make your wealth off the chart. And the beauty about this is it's a format, it's a pattern, and it is transferable to all your other retail malls. And the best part about it is, like, when you know how to play Monopoly, or you know how to play this game, and I'm saying a game because it's a bad terminology when other people use it, but I'm saying it's a game because you're really toying like a cat and a mouse with the sellers and the people in the retail industry, and the mall industry is really the mouse, because they don't have any idea of what the real, there's a very small percentage that do, maybe 1% out of all of them that know the real direction and how things really play out and the trends and what patterns and phases the way you really do things. And that's why 95% of real estate is owned by the same person, same people, small percentage. The banks and commercial real estate, that is the matrix. Everybody else is on the outside. Unless you're on the inside and you've been on the inside and you know how things work, no one else knows it. Everybody else is feeding their business and their money to the top 5%. And that's what I'm teaching you guys. The top 5% from the inside out, from the financing perspective, from the whole dynamic on the inside out. And the retail is like one of the biggest aspects of it, because I'm teaching you from ratios, rules of thumb, what works, all aspects, layout, design, branding, and the way things fit together. And when you add that all up, so what you got to learn is the understanding and how to take a retail mall, even if it's a brand new one, Power Mall, whatever, and it's only been around, just built or whatever, it still has the same problems. Or I teach you how to do the same, how to make a thriving mall and a thriving business to grow exponentially, even in the ghetto. It's knowing how things fit together and understanding how you can play and put the right amount of the right combination, the right mix, and the right setup of tenants, and why all of them matter, and everything that you do at the mall matters. Anybody can buy a mall on a high traffic area, high visibility area, right? Exactly, correct. But even those still have the low decline of like 70% occupancy when it could be 100%. But even at 70% occupancy with sucky tenants, at 70% or even at 100% as in apartments, people do this all day long and say, oh, it's 100% occupancy, we're selling it for this maximum price. Well, last month you could have 100% occupancy, doesn't matter when you still have tenants that are 3 months late, or tenants that are moving out, or they have low credibility. So it's not just that, it's about everything. And like I just said, like there's so many Fortune 500 normal companies that actually have cash flow negative, and they go bankrupt or they pull out of these malls and things like that. So it doesn't really necessarily mean you have a thriving center. The point is that I'm going to teach you how to do this and make every mall better, how you can have access to the increase the traffic, increase the accessibility to the mall, and the layout, the setup, and how you're going to make it a town center, a lifestyle center, like a community hub, and maybe phase out to where you to diminish the larger parking to more of a foot traffic area and the whole direction of the mall. But it really boils down to the demolition, the conversion, the reuse, the redevelopment, and the renovation of the malls. And when I get you all this training and this stuff and everything, and then I get you in the construction phase, you'll be able to do developments where you can make the real money. But retail is so much better than apartments and things right now, and has a potential to be more, because it's got higher cap rates. And you're talking like 10 to 50 years with automatic rate increases. It's triple net. I mean, they're paying for the insurance, the taxes, the common area maintenance, and all these other things that you don't have to pay for. So they're getting better overall pricing on their rent. You're getting a better overall pricing on your overall net income and gross income, because they're paying for that. Your tenants have more money than apartments. You can have tenants that expand into other space, and versus also when I tell you how to set up and do the renovation and all these things on these strip malls, I'm going to tell you what the ratio, the rules of thumbs allocated on the storefronts, the amount of space per tenant, the depth of it, the height of it, the amount of parking lot, the layout of the parking lot, but every single thing about the retail mall that people don't even know. And allow you to make the exponential growth. And you're going to be able to pick up all these malls and other things and retail spaces, be it one single big box tenant on a corner or whatever, and be able to make those grow as well. But these are so much better than apartments because the income streams and additional income per property is easier. That has no domestic violence. You have less drugs. It's easier on autopilot, and the rate of return and cash on cash. Well, you don't have to do cash on cash because you're getting cash out. Nobody even does that. So I'm teaching you all these tricks and everything. And the malls, if you want to get into the renovation side of it, and I teach you the renovation training as well, I'm going to teach you how to do the whole thing, the bid, the materials, the cost, how you're going to set up your mall based off of like the right format, the prototype, the interior configurations, the location for the entrances, your goods and displays, your stores within stores, what builds up the traffic, what gets people to really want to be in there, and the materials and the cost to do it, and how to renovate a parking lot and the whole exterior of every mall at a cost-effective, fast, affordable way. And we use like anodized aluminum and things like that, or steel structures. And each storefront is going to be like brand customized to fit the interior and to fit that individual unit. So your mall is going to be different than every other malls, plus the combination of tenants and the way it's all set up. And you're going to be able to have the construction part of it, where you can do the all construction renovation of all businesses on the block in its own business in itself. So what I teach you is the pattern, the trends, and how you can use the mix of materials, from the glass, the stucco, to the vinyl plaster, the prefab insulated panels or wood, or whatever diverse dynamic colors and appearances to make it different and stand out with the right tenants, and set up from phasing certain ones in and certain ones out, and to where it's on the trajectory to make, from 10 to 50 years out on autopilot. If you do this and you know this all up front, you'll be able to set it up and set up your pads with the freestanding satellite, build a suite, all these tenants and stuff, vendors in the parking lots, and what creates the most traffic and the best overall production and profit of each mall. Nobody knows this. Nobody even talks about it because nobody even done malls. And anybody talking about commercial real estate, they don't even know really commercial real estate because they don't even have true knowledge of large volume closings of a lot of deals. I'm talking from experience. So when I'm talking about malls and apartments and all this commercial real estate, I'm talking about I know it works, and it's not just it's a format, it's a prototype, it's duplicable and scalable on every single mall because they all have the same problems. Same with a lot of other commercial real estate, apartments, and all these things I teach you getting in hotels and all that stuff as well. But your first start out is the apartments and the malls, and you want to get into the heavier training, or maybe the whole separate side of it, which fits perfectly with it, is the renovation, construction, pre-development training for fast construction and customizing your retail malls or your retail corner box stores or whatever, to where you have the setup and the layout, and you can control the tenants and make your cash flow go up and make the properties double all the time. And as it goes up, goes up exponentially. Now, all these malls you see have the emptiness, and they're just vacant. They haven't even, they're like, you have the vanilla boxes where you've already set it up with the bathroom, lighting, HVAC, and all that stuff. And then you have the malls that are even worse than that. They got the layout, they're just in empty shells, wide open, and having been prepped for conversion. If you have a mall and you're in retail and you're in commercial real estate, you shouldn't have any vacancies, because not only do I'll teach you how to do the contracts and everything, but I teach you in the contracts to monitor all of the tenants' sales every month. So you see a problem ahead of time. And a backup tenant. But the first tenant that you have in the setup and the combination and the way things fit together, you're not going to have any of these problems that these other people have. And because the malls and all the retail is the same across the board, all across the United States, it's so easy to go in there and change things and build it and make so much more money. And right now, retail is super hot. It's hot even with the average mall being 70% occupied. And it's hot because, well, a lot of commercial real estate owners are suffering and need to get out of it, and they've been in it while the highs were the high, and now since they didn't really set themselves up for handling the rates and things as the banking has turned out, they want to sell more. So now it's a good time to get in it. Or if you want to just start out and learn the renovation aspect of it and you just want to renovate all the businesses, that's huge because I teach you the parking lot, the storefronts, the facades, the insulated paneling, the stucco fabricated panelings, all these storefronts and the way the parapets are and the signage and all that other stuff. And all of them, almost all of them, have bad lighting. And I teach you how to do skylights. I teach you how to do roof repair because all these commercial real estate properties, almost every retail property, especially standalone, freestanding ones that have been around a while, they all leak. And most of the ones that have skylights, they definitely leak. But a lot of the materials for the roofing almost, if they haven't been updated in the last, 5 years, and they got the polyurethane roofing or certain decking and things, or they have the wood decking versus the metal and the steel joist and all that kind of stuff, they're leaking. So I teach you how to do that, plus renovate and do all the storefronts and all the construction part of that as well in that whole separate training program. But if you learn that plus your commercial real estate training, which I go over that in not as much detail as the renovation aspect, construction, pre-development, well, that'd be your second step if you want to do the commercial real estate. But both of them make big money, and I teach you how to make bids and do things cheaper, faster, and provide better value than companies have been doing it. Like you have a lot of those construction companies been doing it for 100 years, and their overhead and their charges and the costs is way off the chart, way off the map compared to what you can do it for faster and better. And it's such a good business that nobody's even competing with that because nobody's really done the full renovation of any businesses anywhere. That's such a hot business. So commercial real estate training and or the renovation training, they fit hand in hand, they go together, and they're a great business to get into. But retail malls right now is super hot with all commercial real estate, but that's actually probably one of the hottest things. I mean, flex spaces and those things make good money as well, but the retail has the greatest opportunity to make the most exponential money. So if you're wanting to figure out a way to get paid for what you're worth and get into an industry that makes a ton of money and get paid for what you learn and being able to build on what you learn and be self-employed and make a ton of money with greater margins than probably any other industry there is, and learn as you go, this would be a good thing to get into. Now, if you're not ready for this and you just want to get in credit repair, get your credit fixed, or you want to get your corporation, to get a corporation to get anywhere from, depends on where you are with your credit, anywhere from $300,000 to $1 million, $300,000 to $1 million credit lines and loans. I can get that done and get that going for you as well, if you're qualified. So, all these cookie cutter retail malls, retail everywhere, from Texas to Oregon to New York all look the same, and they all got the same problems, and they all have big opportunity for you to get in and make tons of money. So hopefully you're aggressive, you're positive, and you have a good track record of putting your mind to something and focus and seeing the big picture. And if that's you, this is what you'd really like to do, because it's very fun and exciting, and it's a lot of action, and you can make a lot of money and get a lot of things done. And once you have done an apartment, a retail mall, and you've gone through the process one full time, and you've already got the cash, you can streamline and become more effective and efficient and close even more and more deals faster and better, and not even have to really go back and monitor or manage what you've already closed on. You just keep making more money and more money from the past, and you're getting cash out on everything you buy. So nobody teaches this stuff, and it's a great way to learn how to get in commercial real estate and build onto the biggest wealth creation you could find. Other than drugs, I don't even think drugs pay this kind of margin, because the minute the banks get all the money goes in commercial real estate and then trickles down to housing and and other things. But when all this money is being printed in inflation, guess where the first place it goes? Commercial real estate. And if you're not taking advantage of this now, while they do nothing but print money all day long, that could be yours. You're probably at the opposite end of the spectrum, and you're losing all your money, and the dollar is just dropping. So, all right, well, thanks for watching this video, and I hope to talk to you soon. My number is 312-473-4163.